And everybody can't pull off blue. So they come in with that blue, you be like, girl. I love it.
The boldness, right?
Yeah, that's it right there. The boldness.
The beauty and the bold.
The
beauty and bold.
Beautiful.
Right.
This is a Player Cards Right production, sponsored by Queen of Banana Pudding and Fitness by Ebony. Enjoy.
Hello. Hi, family.
Hello. And we are back in the building.
So exciting.
So excited.
I am Destiny.
And I am Ebony Nicole.
And together we are...
Respectfully.
Ebony and Destiny.
Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Welcome, Sade.
Thank you so much.
So we do have our guest here, the owner, CEO of Omosade Skincare. Before we get into the conversation and let our hair down a little bit, we're just going to start off with a prayer. We want to make sure that we keep God in the center of everything that we do, including our podcast.
Yes.
So really quickly, Father God, first and foremost, we would like to thank you for your amazing grace and the ability to use our voice and gifts to shape today's and the next generation. Today we have Sade, owner of Omosade Skincare, who has utilized her gifts to shape and enhance the lives of many throughout the 38-year tenure as a creator and entrepreneur. We pray our energy creates a safe space for the best conversation, and we keep you in the center of it. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Yes.
Let's
Come on,
get into
evangelist.
I've been to church.
A few times
throughout the years.
Thank you, God.
You want to get into our introduction really quickly? We want to make sure we give our audience a detailed introduction of who you are and who we have on our platform, so that we do our justice.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Do you justice.
Ladies and gents, I want to introduce this beautiful woman, Sade. I think I met her over maybe 20 years.
It has to be more than that.
Right?
Yeah.
30? Ooh, child,
You
telling
a
my age.
baby.
A baby in my really late
toddler.
teens. Coming up to 125th Street.
In the Mart?
Into the Mart.
Wow.
And getting makeup. And that's when I didn't even know about makeup. But we're going to go into that. Let me introduce, originally hailing from Nigeria and is a proud member of the Yoruba tribe, Sade carries her rich culture, heritage, and everything she does. She is deeply passionate about keeping the ancient Yoruba beauty traditions alive, which she honors through her stunning African collection. At the heart of her work is the Yoruba goddess Oshun, the divine embodied of beauty, sensuality, fertility, water, and love. You'll find the spirit of Oshun reflected in every single product she creates, with each one designed to celebrate the beauty of her skin in all of its form. Sade's philosophy is simply yet powerful, and she wants every woman, no matter her skin tone, to love and embrace the skin she is in. Through all natural, nurturing skincare products, she believes that by giving our skin the love and care it deserves, our true beauty and sensuality will shine through. But that's not all, y'all. Beyond running her successful business, boss lady, Sade has dedicated herself to mentoring and empowering countless women of color, teaching them how to start and grow their own small businesses. Ain't that important, y'all?
Yes.
She ain't scared to give back, right?
Pay
Particularly in the skincare and the cosmetology industry. So sit back, get ready, get y'all tea. If y'all want to go get some chips, I introduced the beautiful inside and out Sade. Come on, y'all, give it up. Welcome.
Introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And just to add, we're excited, obviously, to have an absolute powerhouse joining us today. She's incredible, an entrepreneur, a trailblazer, and the first skincare founder to offer products specifically for melanin-rich skin. So I think we need to add that, right?
Yes.
We want to give her flowers
That's
while she's
important.
here. And her journey is nothing short of inspiring, and we can't wait to dive into her story. So how you feeling?
I am feeling my head is swelling up as big as this room with pride that the young ladies who I knew actually having me here talking with me,
Yeah.
it makes it come full circle, like you said.
Yeah.
My task, my stamp of what I want to be is really manifested in
Yeah,
your
for sure.
eyes right now.
Wow.
For sure,
you.
for sure. So before we get into our conversation with you, Sade, we like to break the ice. Okay, we're gonna play a little game, a little fun game to set the pace. We want you to get comfortable, and we just gonna have a good time.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So it's a little game called This or That.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna ask you 10 questions really fast, and you just tell me what you prefer. Okay. So bold lip or natural gloss.
Bold lip.
Okay. I like me a good bold lip. Okay.
Is that
Morning.
lip considered bold that you have now? But it's glossy and bold. It's like a beautiful balance that
I
you have.
say bold because for brown skinned women, bold has always been in the background. Don't stay bold. Don't stay outspoken.
That is so true.
I want to go against that grain and say your dark skin can be really bold. Put that
Yes.
fiery red lipstick
Yes.
on and strut.
So that's bold.
That's bold.
That good red lip.
And the spirit, it's not only about the makeup, but the
Exactly.
spirit
It's
of
how
boldness.
you-
I love that.
attitude,
Yes, that's it.
energy,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And you know what? You don't like it, look the other way.
I know that's right.
You snap. Okay.
Okay, morning skincare or night skincare?
I would say night skincare for brown people. Night
okay.
skincare. Because we live in the Western world where if it wasn't a tropical weather where it's where we should be, it's different. But in the winter, you strip your skin in the morning, just
Yeah.
leave it, you've gone to sleep, it's regenerated. In the evening is what you do your regime. Cleanse, moisturize, and do a night skin.
Good. That's good info.
Can you repeat that? The emphasis on why we should do it in the night,
Yes,
based on the
because-
climate.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Why? If we were in the tropics, our skin glows. It's humid. It's got this plumpiness.
Got
to
it.
Then we're living in a Western climate, so after even 600 years of being here, our skin really hasn't changed. It takes millennia to change. So what I always recommend for brown skin is that you do all the cleansing, the toning, the moisturizing at night, so your skin has time to regenerate. When you're going out in the morning, just hydrate, and then go about, SPF and do your thing.
Right.
When you come home, remove all the free
Right.
radicals or the gunk, cleanse, moisturize, and then have a restful sleep and let your skin cells turn over.
That's good to know. So at night, for sure.
For sure.
Always night.
Yeah, I don't play about my skincare at night.
Yeah,
Huh?
It's
I know
super
that's right.
important.
Okay, wait a minute. Skincare.
Like,
What you doing, Ebony? Skincare.
leave me alone.
Right.
Skincare.
But you have naturally like beautiful skin too. Like you've never had like
you,
any
baby.
acne issues or.
Yeah, I've been
Is that a
blessed.
genetic thing? Like I've heard different reviews that it's not necessarily what you eat or what you consume. Like the rumor I've heard or the myth was always, oh, well, you drink too much soda. And I've been told by a dermatologist that that's not necessarily true. It's more so
interesting, right?
hormones. It's
I think
That
it's
what
again,
you-
yeah, exactly. I mean, and then again, it's almost like 50-50. If you're really taking care of yourself and you're eating right, reducing your stress, because that
Yeah,
has an
that's so
effect
important.
also.
Oh.
That helps. And
Stress
then
will
there's
break you out.
genetics. Some people have pretty good skin.
Yeah.
And then maybe when you're in your teens, you break out, and as you get older, the skin and all the hormones level out in
Yeah.
your skin. But if you really, really respect this whole
Temple.
casing that we're in and
Yeah.
you take care of it, it should last you your whole life. And don't get me started because I love Fela, and Fela has this amazing record which is called Yellow Fever. It's a song about how we Africans again have learned how to bleach our skin because again we want to look like the colonial masters.
Yeah.
If you live in the skin you're born in, it gives you back
Yeah.
everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what bothers me is that we're Africans and we live right on the equator. I'm a West African, and we're bleaching.
I know.
Hello. What's wrong with this picture? We're supposed to have this brown skin for a reason.
For a reason.
Yeah.
But it protects you against the sun.
Right, that's so true.
So we just want to basically, Yoruba people call it staying in balance. So if you keep everything in our lives, and it's not easy in the way we live, if we stay in balance, things will work itself out.
Your body will take care of you.
It'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Just don't, all the highs and lows.
Yeah.
And like we're talking about AI, all the stuff wants us to go high and low, but naturally, as organic beings, we're not made for that. We just crash and burn. Stay
level.
That's good, Sade.
That's so good.
Good.
Gems.
Okay, cat eye or smoky eye?
Oh, I would always go for the cat eye. Why? Because again, the cat eye, if you look at the Egyptian hieroglyphs, cat eye is nothing new. It's been around.
That's so true.
So I always go for what is traditional, what's always proven, because with a cat eye, you can literally frame every single eye. Smoky eye, it's a lot more skill.
Right.
And it's hard to achieve. So let's go for the cat eye. It's easy. You can draw a line. And it's something that if you look through the generations, cat eye has always been involved.
That's good to know. I didn't even correlate.
I've noticed that
the
like
cat
back in the
eye with
day.
the Egyptians.
You have me
It's an amazing correlation. Why would they put this behind me? You know how dramatic I am. Trying to take me out. They trying to
Before the show is over.
I'm like, woo. There's going to be a few like woofs.
on my ribs.
Oh my God. Okay, so my last question to you would be sheet mask or clay mask?
Oh, always clay mask. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that's pre-made, I'm always suspect. Anything traditional, we Yoruba people, we have what we call osun, and it's a camwood clay mask, which means back in the olden days, you were literally involved within your own skincare. So if you wanted to make a mask, you would mix it with either aloe or egg white. So you literally like cooking. So you knew what was in there. When something comes pre-made to me, I have to read the ingredient list and see what it is. But when you have a clay mask, you can literally put things in to make it hydrating or pulling strong pull. So I would always go with the clay mask.
So let's do full glam or no makeup?
Honestly, I would always go with no makeup.
With no makeup? Me too. Listen, if I ain't have to wear makeup, I'm like, yes, right? Give me natural.
Just give me my natural.
Right.
I mean,
I love it.
Everyone,
I'm with
I can
you,
do my
Sade.
makeup and that you look different. Every day full glam. Come
Right.
on.
It's too much. It's time consuming.
Right.
Lashes or mascara?
Ooh, lashes.
Ooh.
Again, it depends on what you're going for. If I was going out doing something, I would put lashes on.
Yeah.
Again, it creates the cat eye.
Yeah.
The drama. It's wonderful. Natural girls, we like the drama. We like putting it on. I love it. It's
pop
part
that
of
eye.
what I love. Yeah. But when it's done, rip it off. Go back to the natural.
So you prefer a strip rather than the individual?
Yeah. I am actually still waiting for this whole fan eyelash to go out of fashion. Because I'm sitting in my car going, my darling, how come I can see your lash? What the hell? Why am I able to see your lash across the street?
Right.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Really?
Bring
Eric
it down.
and his friends call it the eye wigs.
The eye wigs?
Yes.
Yeah. I done seen some eye wigs though.
I'm like, what?
I'm like, baby.
It's just too dramatic. But I
Yeah,
think
it's
to
too
your
much.
point, we have to, keep that balance.
Yes.
Keep the balance and make sure it looks natural.
Yeah.
It's
We
just
grew up at a
sometimes we're
time
doing
Yeah.
too.
You know what you told me,
younger-
Sade, too? When I first started going with you, and I'll never forget this, less is more. You used to always say that to me. When I say I used to go to Sade, I don't know if you really remember me, because I was a little thick. No, I lost weight back then. I lost weight then. But you
remember
used to
pretty
say,
faces.
less is more, Ebony. Then you'd be like, on my face, you do my... Yes, honey. I used to come to you
Because when you
all
go
the
see her,
time.
she has to give you a light beat.
Yes.
Like, this is a light little
Like a light
eye,
beat.
buy your products, and then she
Yeah.
educates you,
Yeah.
give you a little beat, she'll enhance your, your eyelashes, and then you
There's a reason I do that. in
eyebrows.
that
Excuse me.
Back in the day, I remember when I first started in the Albee Square Mall. It used to be in downtown
Brooklyn,
DeKalb,
right?
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we started, and we were the only one. Across the street was a store called A&S. It used to have Fashion Fair, Florrie Roberts, all these. Nothing for black women.
Right.
And the foundations had all this green undertone, which made me look like I'm in a mortuary. So I decided that anytime,
the mortuary.
anytime a black woman sits in my chair, I want to show her when she looks in the mirror what I think.
Right.
This is what's possible for us. And then they jump out the chair. One, you get a good client who's appreciative, but you want to reflect their own beauty back to them, which if you're looking, when I was growing up, the fashion magazines did not have that. They did not reflect yourself to you.
Yeah.
So you looked other ways to
That's
see
so
it.
true.
And so
That's so
when you
true.
sit down, I'll fill your eyebrows in while I talk to you. I can't be a psychiatrist because people tell me so much, and you're sitting down, we're engaging with each other, and
You made it a safe place when we came, not
Safe
just
space.
doing our makeup.
that.
You
It's
just
more
had
than makeup.
like real, authentic conversations with us.
Right.
And I would be like, yo, even if I was having a bad day, I know when I'm going to get my eyebrows done,
We'll
Sade
talk.
is going to put me in that safe space, and I'm going
Yeah.
to feel, and that's what
What's
you
my
gave us.
mission?
Yeah, for sure.
And I
Sure.
think our
Amazing.
mothers and our aunts and our sisters back in the day did that. And it's just because, again, like we talk about social media, the exchange of information is the wrong
Yeah.
information. And now, where's the safe space for us to sit and talk with each other? That's why I said I'm putting my makeup on and coming out to talk with you guys because we need more of
We
this.
do.
Yeah.
And our gentlemen also in our audience need that.
that's
In
a fact.
Yoruba,
Don't forget
people
the
call it
men.
an egbe. An egbe is a group of people. So a women at a certain age have where they meet and talk. Because we're still organic beings. We need to talk and look into each other's eyes. You're scrolling on the phone. That's not the answer. The AI is feeding you what it wants you to know. This is priceless. And it will come a day when this will be very valued. And so the learning to talk to each other, the learning for men to talk to each other as an egbe, super important for African people. We grew up on an oral tradition. Why do we rap?
Right.
We do that because we carried our culture through the spoken word.
Right.
And if we stopped doing that and we only, who is teaching? I used to learn to do makeup where my aunt in those days, they would just draw the eyeliner on. But I learned so much about the art of coquettishness and, all of that from
The
watching.
etiquette.
Yeah.
The way the women do, don't touch me, come but don't come. All of that is a subtle way of a woman
Right.
being. Where are we learning it now?
Yeah.
Kardashians? No.
Yeah, no,
Hello?
so true.
We need someone of our age mates, our own egbe, to say, okay, that's the way you comport yourself. My mother will always say that. That's why this conversation is needed from an elder to us, and I don't talk down to people. And men and women should have more of this conversation.
Yeah.
Keep it going. It's in our blood.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think
important.
that's the beauty of podcasting is that people are having
Conversation.
forums where we can
We
create, safe spaces and conversations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of these mics and the use of the mics are abused because fake news spreads faster than the real news.
Yeah,
but
nobody
for the
wants to hear
people
the real
who
news.
are coming to these platforms with substance and wanting to educate and empower, that's why I was so excited to have you here before you leave for Africa, because we need to hear these gems and we need this information for the future generation, the current generation. Is so much that we're not tapped into.
So true.
Specifically when it comes to the motherland and when it comes to our history. And some people don't even have the capacity to want to learn based on, whatever they're going through. But it's important for us to learn because look what's going on now.
And it's interesting that we are
so true.
learning. And we used to learn from the elders, and the elders then tell us or whatever. And your mother would say, "Oh, I saw you in the street." They've already told your mother you're already in trouble. That was the village.
Yeah,
They raised us.
takes a village.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, where is that village? It cannot be what the AI is saying is important. Again, loud noise. The AI says, okay, this is getting more viewers.
Yeah.
Let's put this out. But where the truth is, it doesn't get pushed forward. But I think the more we're persistent, the more we talk about
That's
things,
it
and we
right
bring,
there.
yeah, we'll
The
bring,
more everybody will get a handle on it. You know what I'm saying? It's so much bigger than makeup and skincare when you think about it, like you said. It's that community is coming out.
everything.
And really, somebody's going to be blessed off this session.
even one person.
That's what I said. If I get one
Even
or two
people
people,
alive,
we will. That's the mission. Is if we can get one or two people to grasp
we're
it
already-
and bless somebody. That's what we're doing.
Last week, I was going to the post office, and the post office was closed, and I was annoyed, thinking it was the president's inauguration. I was like, oh my God, ha, 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 huff, huff, huff. And then I walked down, and the brother goes to me, oh, no, it's Martin Luther King Day. I'm like, yay, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was, the president's inauguration. That's why he goes, oh, no, yeah, he's going to what they're doing in the Al-Qaeda. I voted for him because, and I really said to myself, okay, Shad, it's a reason why you're speaking to this man. Because again, there has to be a discussion among us, even if we don't agree with
That's
each other.
it. I always say that.
Agree to disagree. It's
I
okay.
listened to him and I said, God bless you, Happy New Year, my brother. I was like, yo,
My brother.
my brother.
But that's
But you know what? This is how he feels. He says, I wasn't it's a black man. I was a police officer, so I'm really for the president because he's going to. And I thought to myself, he who doesn't even know on the map where Al-Qaeda is. He cannot tell me where the Middle East is if I showed him the
Yeah.
map. Then I said, well, you know what? You have a point there. Why even argue with people?
Right.
And I said,
That's where I'm at with it.
I just said, you know
it's
what?
ignorance, and I
Bruh,
can't
you know,
combat
thank you.
ignorance.
Right. We ain't going to go back and forth.
I can't. It's so true.
Yo, Masa's got to get the hell.
It's
My brother. God
this is
bless
why
you.
this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Matte or dewy finish? We have like literally
always
two more to this
dewy
or that.
finish.
So I love a dewy.
I love a doing.
Yes, but that's right. Exactly.
Kindred spirits.
Do it yourself skincare or store bought products?
Always do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself.
Well, your products are made from
By hand.
By hand.
and by hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going back home in a few weeks and I'm going to go back to my hometown. I'm from a remote village. The women still make the oil.
Wow.
Because even when I go to my remote village, where now, due to the Chinese, is the Belt and Road Initiative. So the Chinese are everywhere in West Africa. So everyone's bleaching. I'm like, what the hell?
Wow.
So what happens to African brown oil? What happens? And there has to be a thread of continuity. So if whatever you're rubbing on your skin is what you're accepting. So I always say do it yourself, because in the olden days when they brought Africans here, they didn't have palm oil or cocoa to make oils. They used lard to make soap. So pig fat would be used to make, if not for the African women in this diaspora.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's what really motivated me to bring you on, the conversation we had regarding soap and how Black women and the African women play a huge part. Because I asked Sade, I said, do you advise other brands of soap or African bathing soap? And please tell Ebony your response.
Yeah. Listen to me, I have so many responses. But yeah, I still really think it's good to understand that through our food, through our music, our fashion, and even the skincare that we have, we brought a lot to this culture. And the African woman must have stowed, and man must have stowed rice and showed them how, below the Mason-Dixon line, how to plant rice and cotton. Europeans got this idea, bing, let's go get some more of them. One, they don't die of malaria, which was killing whites in the droves. Even the
the
Scottish,
Native
Irish,
Americans.
well, the Native Americans knew how to maneuver, but getting rid of them was another trail of tears. But
they were also dying because of the disease. Like they couldn't withstand also.
Well, what I think, in my humble opinion, killed the American Indians was the poison blankets. It wasn't something that this was their land. So they knew how to grow and plant.
Yeah.
So what was killing Europeans more, because as much as the English were bringing indentured servants, which there were white and black slaves.
Indentured, yeah. Bacon's
They
Rebellion.
They were dying and dying and dying, but the black woman and black man didn't die. They were like, wait, below
We're
the
resilient.
Well, I was getting ready to say,
What?
we don't play.
a certain
But
strain of
goes down.
mosquitoes, malaria, we were immune to.
But what resonated with me is that you said that didn't work in our favor, right? That we're so
didn't.
resilient, right?
Our resilience backfired on us.
Yeah.
We didn't die of malaria. They were
Right.
like, bing, let's go across. Because, you know, when you look at Africa and the eastern coast of America, very close.
In
Just
proximity.
Go zoom, zoom.
Yes, right
Go
there.
get more of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't die easy. They work
They don't
hard.
die easy. Wow.
There comes this notion that giving birth, we don't feel as much pain as European women. We're just as vulnerable as anyone else. We
Right.
suffer just as much. So it's a long old story, but that all worked against us.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about the Willie Lynch syndrome and the learning to learn how to subjugate the minds of these people, they will follow anything we want.
Yep.
All you have to do is separate her from her husband and take her kids from her. The man is castrated, the woman is.
Yeah.
So this, you know, I just think there still has to be a conversation about everyone's getting reparations, but us. There is hundreds of years of suffering and trauma that we still have not dealt with as a people.
And that's in our DNA.
And it's still there.
Still in our
Still
DNA.
there. That's
With
so true.
Talking, educating, having a conversation where whites, whom I love my white friends, I have some white friends, don't get your hackles up and think because I say this, I don't like you. The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
And when you get to the truth, people get uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just build bridges. How are we going to build bridges when there's too much trauma for the other side?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Let's air it out. and
Too many
then-
bridges burned.
Totally. And we
So
keep
that's how
burning
you
it.
think we heal, though, through conversation, through platforms
we
like
as
this.
African people have always healed through conversation.
Yeah.
It's the
I think
separating
so.
of
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
that get. Then what they did was with the Lynch syndrome is separate us through color.
Yeah.
So if you're the slave master's child and you're the house Negro, you're different from the one in the field. No difference because you're still black. So, and everywhere you go, when I was in the Dominica, and they think, no, you're still black. You may be lighter than me, but to Europeans, you're still not a white person. So where the conversation is just to get together, we're not saying we're hating anybody, but what we're saying is we want to understand where our traumas come from, where it is that I can't sit with my brother and talk with him and let him understand my suffering and and I'm an African woman. It took me a minute to understand I was a black person because I never heard anyone call me that.
That's a different podcast.
And I was like, wait, where
That
are they?
conversation.
I was like, wait, they're black people?
Being black.
Right.
Yeah, that's a different podcast. No, seriously.
That works on your mind.
Right.
So many of us aren't educated about just like the terminology, the evolution of the terminology, right? Like during slavery, then Reconstruction and Jim Crow, like we were slaves, we were mulattoes, we were Negro. And the Black Panther movement was the movement that actually, you know, pushed us to embrace our blackness and drop the Negro and drop these terms, mulatto. So there's, I've seen even like podcasters from the UK say, oh, well, I don't understand how Americans call themselves black because we identify as Jamaican or because they're first and second generation. I'm just like, well, if you aren't first and second generation and your family, your descendants of slaves, like they just don't understand the trajectory of black power.
Yeah.
So to your point, we have to educate one another.
We do.
And have these conversations. I
Yeah.
have friends who do own their Jamaican descent, but that's because they're first generation.
Yeah.
My mother's mother is from the South, so you know, we were descendants of slaves. So I'm not connected to that, to the island, to that island. So,
Interesting.
you know, it's my blackness is what I embrace. But the soap, can you please tell Ebony about what you told me about the soap?
So I was saying how Oshe
Yes.
Dudu, which is another thing, Oshe means soap, soap, Dudu means black. So you can imagine where they bastardized the word Dudu. Okay. So right there.
She just drops them. You don't even, it just
Gem.
goes over
Look,
your head.
gems.
So right there it's really kind of a subtle way of resenting and not liking yourself. So what I always try to fight against is that what is this is not who I am, is what is in my head.
Yeah.
And that you cannot take away. The only thing who can take that away is my own self and the self-talk.
Yeah.
So Oshadudu was made in Africa by cooking, or you have to have an oil, an oily substance to make soap. It won't lather.
Right.
Ash and oil make soap. African people came here who were very clean people. We have to bathe all the time because you're in the tropics. You come here, you're free. But you still then thought, the woman thought, how will I be able to make soap? So she used lard, pig fat, and now we have the petroleum, which is what soap is made out of. So
Okay.
you've got ivory and all the where we were bathing already with perfumes in the Egyptian culture, Europeans were frosting away windowless huts, eating codfish and not bathing. Hello.
And not
Eating
bathing.
codfish.
Not bathing.
But eating codfish.
Ooh,
We
child.
are not clean. I
Right.
mean, we came from a culture where perfumes make up the whole adornment. Necklaces, beads. This is part of our put. Then we come here. We have to.
But they
then
don't want
say-
to teach us that because we'll love ourselves way too much.
Right.
We knew we invented everything.
Even
Right.
in the fields, we walked with pride.
Yeah.
See, that is
Yeah.
not easy to kill, but you have to do it in a very maniacal, low. You know, I read this book that said during the Second World War, the Nazi representatives came to America to study how on earth they were able to succeed in apartheid. Separating, which is really what American was doing. The Nazis found it way too strict. What the hell is with the drinking water from different pumps? These people are crazy. They went back. The Nazis refused the American way of segregation. It was way too strict. So we are not talking about this culture as being free of its endemic slavery, racism.
Yeah.
They perfected it. They perfected how to get you to think less of yourself.
Yeah.
Ain't that
And then
crazy
when you look
though?
at your brother, you almost, you find yourself moving because
It's true.
we're afraid of each other.
Yeah.
So when I see somebody come in as a black man, I move close. I don't want, if it's going to happen, it happens. When
Yeah,
I
we gotta
punch you,
do
your
better.
lights are, we have to
gotta
learn
do
and look
better.
at each other and recognize
Yeah.
each other and speak.
Yeah, eye contact. I catch myself sometimes also.
We look
just
away.
Greeting like your brother, like hello.
I always
You
do.
can sense the energy.
Yes,
like,
that's me.
just say
Energy.
hello.
How you doing?
speak.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that brother, when I told you about the post office,
You
he went
good?
home and he thought about me and I thought about him and we had an exchange.
Yeah,
That's
and you
good.
don't know who you'll bless during out your day. Just
Yeah,
a smile.
just a smile.
You know, how you doing? You good?
Yeah.
And then, the
And they
person
say
walk
the
away like,
smile
yo,
is
she
a flower
really made
you're
my day.
offering.
Yeah. Just
And
a
it's
smile.
and it's universal.
Energy.
Last two, this or that, because
Oh, I love this.
Yes.
This is so fun.
Facial or massage?
Ooh. Okay. So when you
That's hard.
well, again, I hearken back to my own history and
Your
my
tradition.
own experience. When a baby is born out of the womb, it's being curled up. The first thing the midwife does is massage the baby, pulls the baby's limbs,
Come on, James.
like, pulls the baby's neck, rubs it because it's come through the birth
Yes.
canal.
But it's so true, though. That's true.
Because we're humans, we need tactile, we need
Yeah,
touch.
yeah.
It's important. And that is exactly why we're also getting depressed nowadays. We're not connecting, touching, breathing. We need that connection. So massage, super important. From the day you were born, the holding, the massage of the baby. I used to watch that when my mother did the first bathing for my twins. She did that. And I videotaped it. And I said,
Beautiful.
this is a continuity. So when Kaede and Tayo have their own children, I would do the same. So massage the touch.
Physical touch is everything.
And we need it.
And we need it.
We have to have it.
I've lost.
Waiting on my husband. Child, not
Touch me.
waiting on my partner.
Talking about that.
We ain't talking about that touch. Jesus.
Stop it up.
No, it's true. I've lost a few matriarchs in my family, and when I went to visit them in the hospital, I realized that the nurses just don't have the time or the capacity to touch these patients. Right, because I have friends who are nurses and who, would really work really hard during the pandemic, and hats off to them. They risked their lives. But just being an advocate and also being in the healthcare field for 10 years, I just realized that it's a void in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
Like, you go see someone who is sick, and they may, be aspirating, or they may be like almost like hanging outside of the hospital bed, and you're like, nurse. And they're like, oh, well, they haven't blinked, or they haven't responded. And as soon as you just rub their shoulder or speak their name,
get that move.
You get that energy.
That's
and
so
it's
true.
like physical touch is
that means
everything.
when we're thinking about healthcare, it has to be holistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not only do we, because I have people who are anti-vaxxer, don't be an idiot. There are people in West Africa who are we need vaccines. Okay, take whatever you want from that. However,
it's the distribution
but you
of
have
the
to
vaccine.
have the whole cycle. Not only do you have the medicine, there's also ethnomedicine. There's also natural medicine in nature. From the bark of the wood is where aspirin was created from. Europeans, it's called neuroquin. That's how Europeans who were dropping dead like flies took that, because we African people would take the bark, soak it, give it to them to drink. That was aspirin. It reduced their temperature, kept them from dying. So when I think of health, I think of it in a holistic way. So you give them the drip, whatever, but then you can read to them, you can touch them, and you can do everything that a human being needs.
And
to
that's
thrive.
absent.
And that is what makes you feel better. I mean, in the olden days, you are an old lady, they go into your heart. The old lady lives longer because we young people go into her heart and say, Mama, should I marry this man or not? She feels valued. Oh, somebody's asking me for my advice. I'm still needed, so I won't drop dead. But when you put them in a home somewhere, you have
neglect them.
And neglect them, and you don't ask for their advice. Anywhere in the world that you see people are living longer, it's because people have them part of the family.
And they have community.
That's so
And
true.
they sit at the table.
And they have
That's so
community.
true.
They whack the little baby's head. And say, go and sit outside.
They're interacting with one another.
She
It's
is
the
hot.
love in the building.
Yes.
Like that love will make you,
And it makes you live longer. It
That's
makes
so
you
true.
feel wanted. It makes that your opinion matters.
Yeah.
And so I would like to
Last one.
encourage that.
Classic red lip or nude lip, and thank you for the gems on top of gems.
gems on top of gems.
Classic red lip or nude lip.
Well, when it comes to red, depending on the complexion of the brown woman. So if I'm my color or darker, your red has to have blue in it. So it shows up on your complexion. If not, my brown skin absorbs the wave of, without blue, it doesn't show up as red on me. So if I want a color to really pop on you, I will put blue and a little orange or yellow, mix it. So people also have to see us to understand what color pops on us. So I would always go for magical electric, like really great blue. You remember Sade, how she
I
came
always used to
out,
see with your
and
blue.
she would come out with that red.
You used to rock that blue. Red too, though. Yeah, that blue.
So any red with blue would look really.
And everybody
Passion.
can't pull off blue. So they come in with that blue, you be like, girl. I love it.
The boldness, right?
Yeah, that's it right there. The boldness.
beauty,
I love
the
the
beauty and the
bold.
bold.
The
beauty and bold.
beautiful.
Right. So that was wonderful. That was
I
cute.
love that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
to
you
be
gave
I
us
love
some
the
gems.
education though that was
You guys-
intertwined
Yes.
with
That was
the
good.
answers.
I learned a lot.
Wonderful.
I learned a lot.
So as you can see, if you look to the right, Sade, I have my book, Mama's Baby, Papa's Baby 2. Ebony and I are excited to go on this journey because a part of obviously showcasing beautiful talents like yourself, we also want to help spread awareness about our businesses.
Yes.
So the audience already knows I am a self-published author. My children's book, Mama's Baby and Papa's Baby 2, was self-published and written released in 2021. So I would love to ask you, what does the term or title Mama's Baby and Papa's Baby 2 mean to you when you hear it?
When I first saw the cover of your book, what I thought is, here we have an African American. I always think we're still African.
We're African, right?
An African family that still reads to their children. It's kind of an old-fashioned way of storytelling.
Yeah.
So what you've done is put it in a book form, encouraging our children that I want you to learn to read.
Yeah.
And it's a very powerful tool. And I thought that is a family, one united. And I don't say that to say everything you see on Instagram is what life is.
Right.
Being a family is difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Being a husband
easy.
and wife is very difficult. But you're saying, no, it's still possible.
It's doable.
This is what we want. I want to put to my community, mother and father and baby too.
Right.
So the two, of course, since I'm Miya Beji, which is what you are, mother of twins.
Mother of twins.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I thought. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, Beji. That's a great cover.
I love it.
And thank you so much. And that was beautiful, beautifully said. How does it align with the African proverb, "It takes a village"? Because obviously we use that as African Americans. We've heard the term.
Yeah.
But unless you know your research, it's a proverb. So how do you feel like that aligns with the title or with the message to your
But
point?
African people who were here have always raised children as a village.
Yeah.
It's only because, okay, now you can be bused to a white school, all of a sudden the village starts disintegrating.
Wow.
And even when there was, you have Selma, you have places where you have collectives of African businesses. That was a village. But the powers that be doesn't want that centralized power. They want to disseminate it and take the whole pie. So there's always been that bringing of the knowledge from Africa. That's the only way we survived here.
Yeah.
Having a village. And it was very hard to do.
Yeah.
Because they made sure you didn't read.
That's a
we didn't
fact.
collect together in more than
Right.
3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
Because they're like, those Negroes are talking about something. So
shift this up. Let's break this up.
Yeah, we couldn't have that.
Yeah.
And so, again, while we see why people do backbite and go and tell the master what we're doing,
Yeah.
but it's that village that helped us survive. We would not have survived here. It does
Without that
take a village.
village.
And nowadays, I told a lady in the supermarket, the boy was running up and down. I said, I was like, stop running. The father looked at me and goes, oh, okay. And the mother was like, she was getting it. I said, no, young man should not run in a public place.
Yeah.
You should stop running. When I was a child, anyone could correct you.
That's so true. Nowadays, woo,
She was getting angry at
is
me, but
another
I had to
podcast.
turn it around and tell her, my darling, I'm sure your mom told you the same thing.
Yeah.
Then she goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop running. First of all, you don't have to yell at him. Just be assertive and tell him,
Exactly.
I need you to stop running.
Eye contact.
And he did stop running. And his father said nothing, but his mother took it personally. No, it takes a village.
Yeah.
If I don't tell him, then the police whack him on his head and put him in jail. No, we tell them slowly but surely that be aware,
Yeah.
be careful, be respectful, answer back. No, because you're a brown person in this culture. Know yourself and move with pride. It does take a village for us to raise our children.
That's so true.
Move with pride.
That's so
I
true.
love that. Move with pride.
Can we talk a little bit about your family upbringing and discuss a little bit about your homeland and how was the transition from you leaving there coming to the United States?
My father was a diplomat, so I really have traveled a lot in my childhood. So father was here as the Nigerian embassy.
Okay.
So that's how I came to America. So we literally traveled Germany, England. I lived in Scotland, everywhere.
Wow.
That makes sense.
So I think it was really, really my best time of life was living in the village. And I was the most enjoyable time. It was an innocent time. And now that I go even back home, I see that, oh, the innocence is lost because, again, everything is accessible in that little phone. So,
like
because
You talking about your village back home?
yes,
Yeah.
even
So when you
now-
were younger, you didn't feel like knowing about the United States. You didn't feel like no lack of or
no,
you know.
no. The one thing I have to say is that I had a teacher who was wonderful, and it's also good to be taught. Because I showed a picture to my daughter when I got on the plane last year, and I said, "Oh, this is the first white person I've seen in a month." It was so exciting. It's interesting because when you're in Africa, you see only black people, so you kind of have to look around a minute and go, "Wait, you're in a different land."
Yeah.
But then when you're taught by professors who are black, your lecturers are black, everything is black. We were already taught more about America than Americans know about Africa.
Right.
So
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I really knew, the Constitution. We had to pass that.
Right.
And the English system of education was very strict. You didn't get your O levels. You're just not going. There's no passing you on. You just went on list. Let's look for your name that you passed.
Right.
But so I remember one of my professors, whom I adore, used to teach us, about Kwame Nkrumah, all of the African leaders, about the Belgian Congo. All of this we already knew. However, what he insisted in doing is teaching only in Yoruba, which is very interesting because he believed that by the age of a little child to 6, you only hear your language, and then you go to what they call kindergarten, and you start being taught to speak only in English, so that child starts to fail. That child is not, but the English people say, oh, the child is stupid. It's because you're making that child now learn in a different language. Wow. So it takes them a year or two to get it. So we're saying from little to university, you can teach astrophysics in my language. But when the English came and said your gods are wrong, your culture is wrong, the Yoruba people were very difficult to rule because the English had to do what they call indirect rule. They had to go through all the chiefs and the chiefs to get the people to do anything. Right. They found the Yorubas very difficult. So if we teach our culture in our language, because you don't go to Germany and they're teaching university in English. Right. They're speaking German.
You
go to China.
That's so true, though.
Speaking
Right?
Chinese to any university.
That's so true.
Yeah.
But we are in Africa and we're teaching our children in English. My professor decided that he was only going to teach us in English. And that's when I came here to England when I was 12 or 13. I could not understand English, but children learn very fast. And I realized that was a favor that was done for us to let us know that our language is epic and it can take us to any level we want. You can create the atom bomb, put that together in Yoruba. And to understand that is really to understand and have some pride in yourself. And so I really, really loved growing up. And when we came to England and I saw these white things falling from the sky, snow, I freaked out. I kept licking it.
So how many countries were you exposed to and traveled to before you came?
Maybe half a dozen before I ended up staying. And when I came to America as a teenager, I was not leaving. I said, I'm never traveling again. So I loved seeing African Americans. And it took me back because I would try to speak my language and realize, no, they're Americans. They couldn't understand.
Like, huh?
That took me a minute. Then I had to change quickly. Yeah, how to speak like Americans. But then my accent is still a little bit there, but I was like, wow, these people are still African people here.
So, fun fact, Ebony and I are related through my father's side, but on both my mother and father's side, you're the only relative that I have who actually traveled to Africa.
Interesting. I would love to encourage more people to come.
You went to Kenya. You visited Kenya, right?
I know. I love that.
And then
Kenya's
I'm going
a
to.
beautiful
I
country.
love.
She just left Bali. Like she
saw you on Instagram.
Traveling.
I thought, wow.
And we're going to go to Ghana in October.
So
you going to Ghana?
Yeah,
So
we're going to Ghana.
to Nigeria.
Yes.
You're gonna love it.
That's
I
my
would
dream
love-
trip.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go set up a house.
Once you
Yeah.
build,
Oh, okay, we
I'm
all
staying
going.
with Sade.
Look, we all going collectively.
Well, that's right. As a group, as a community.
But I encourage like I tell all my friends, especially the young people, like travel, see different cultures,
Black
see,
women should
especially
travel more.
Africa, us, our people. Kenya changed my life.
I'm so glad that you
It
did
was
that.
How so?
magical.
How so?
Like just to see the culture, like everywhere I went, they was like, welcome home. Like it was just so touching.
So, like,
and we visit like the villages and just see,
welcoming and inviting.
yeah.
You'll
It was
see.
so good. Yeah, I encourage.
She
Gotta go.
posted like being in the safari and in the villages, and I just live vicariously through her story.
Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
I mean, part of my pet peeves is finding that when people do go to Africa because of the travel agency, they take you to South Africa. Please. Okay, there's other places in Africa.
Yeah.
It's a huge
It's a
continent.
huge
Yeah.
continent, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And that if you went to South Africa, no African Americans came from South Africa, none whatsoever. They came right from West Africa,
Africa.
right to the
Yep.
Americas.
Yep.
So if you want to find your relatives, you want to see from the coast where they took Africans in the Middle Passage
Yeah.
go to Ghana, go to Nigeria, Dahomey.
How far is
Senegal.
Ghana and Nigeria from each other?
Oh, right next to each other.
Oh, so I maybe do a
So
little.
we were the Ashanti people. We're called Yoruba. It was the same empire. It was a huge empire. It was the English and the French
Yeah.
who divided us
Gotcha.
because there was that right after the First World War. Germans were looking for what they call the Lebensraum, which
Yeah.
is new land. English people, when you want to be a colonialist, you're looking for land and you're looking for free labor. So the Belgians all went to Belgian Congo. The country is as big as New Jersey or whatever. I don't even know how big it is. But they took over the whole Congo
Right.
and started
over.
taking rubber
Yeah.
plantation. So you need that. And Africa, so you see there's only Africans.
Yeah.
And when you go to Africa, you see people who look just like you. I went down south and I'm like,
A lot.
wait, what? People look just like my relatives.
Yeah.
Because the Southerners are still very dark.
My
And I-
great grandmother's from South Carolina. She's
I was so impressed.
richly melanated.
The
My
food,
father's
the-
richly
like,
melanated. Our father
gorgeous.
is richly melanated.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It's a gorgeous spectrum. And I was like, wow, look at that. They should travel more to West
Yeah.
Africa.
Before we go into our tea and treats segment, can we just have some Q&A? I want to talk a little bit about makeup and skincare
Yeah, let's
because
do
I think that's
Let's
important
do
for
it.
for the audience. Just a few questions. So, what do you think is the most important factor when it comes to taking care of our skin?
You remember what I was saying in the beginning is that depending on the temperature outside, in the summer, our skin tends to take care of itself.
Yeah.
It's made for warm weather. So I would say for women, remove the makeup. Do not go to bed with it.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
How
never
bad
get
is
it.
that?
Bad.
Like, when you coming from the club, you tired, like, I'll take it off in the morning. Like, tell the people
Now, it's
how bad. I
interesting
don't
that
care
you
what
say
time I
that.
come in. 2, 3 in the morning, that makeup is coming off.
has
I don't
to
So
play.
do you use the makeup wipes? Or are you just washing your
Never
face?
with
How are you
wipes.
removing?
I don't do
your makeup?
wipes. I use Fenty. It's kind of like a gel oil, and I do that first, and then I do my cleanser. Is that
Right.
good?
So yeah, never
Okay.
wipes.
Why never
never
wipes?
wipes.
Ooh, I do. Sometimes I do
I'm
the
sure
wipes.
they have toxins.
Yes, and anything that's pre-moistened, we don't know what it's moistened with.
What if
Yeah,
it's
they also-
organic?
They lying.
Water
They
is
lie.
organic.
Look, ooh,
Men lie,
I
women
gotta
lie.
change up my. Sometimes I do wipes, but if I'm wearing like makeup like this, I'll do oil.
Well, I tend to think that if I have to dispose of something, that I don't need it.
Okay.
So
Okay,
if I have
ooh.
to then do something and then throw it away, I tend to omit that whole step. because
Okay, I learned something new. Wow.
We
Okay.
have the entire world of fast fashion, and it's all in the coast of Africa.
Yeah.
So we're not thinking when we're throwing it away. But I would say yes, you want to do your makeup, you want to do an oil dissolving remover.
Okay.
And something that doesn't strip. Now, when it comes to makeup and removing of it when you're in your youth, okay, the skin has strength, it pops back, blah, blah. The older you get, then you start getting fine lines and it starts seeping into that. You can't treat it as when you did in your 20s.
That's true.
So now I know that in my age, I definitely take off makeup. because the skin needs more hydration and needs to breathe.
To breathe,
We are kind of lucky because genetically the pores are still staying tight, but it doesn't stay that way always. So I would say yes, if you can omit any step that is disposable, do it.
Okay.
Go through the motions of wiping your face. It takes a little bit more time. Wash it off. I tend to use a gel cleanser, just like you were saying. I remove eye makeup.
That's good to know, gel cleanser.
Yeah, I like gel
love
cleansers
gel cleanser.
in the winter because my skin is super dry. I'm in my,
Mine too. Yeah.
I'm in my mid-60s, so there you go. I have
Still
to.
looking 35. Okay. And I want to ask one more question. How important is to wear SPF in the winter? Because you know how we wear it. You know, we make sure we do it in the summer because of the sun. But I heard it's really important to still wear it throughout. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is because the sun itself has changed. It's not the sun of our grandparents and our great-grandparents. We have environmental... there's a reason why we're saying that the ozone layer is being depleted. So all the UV rays is penetrating now. It's a lot harsher on the skin. So yes, I even recommend when you're indoors to wear SPF.
Really? Okay.
So that, you don't forget when you go out that it's on.
Right.
Yeah.
The sun is different. The sun is different everywhere. Here we have in California is burning. Well, again, California is not supposed to be settled.
Yeah.
Why the people living there is madness. But the environment is topsy-turvy. So yes, please put some SPF on. It's super, super important to wear it. Again, the sun is different now. The rays of the sun is hitting us differently.
Okay.
Okay, but I think that may have went over a few heads. Why is in California it's supposed to be settled? Because of the immense amount of hills?
Well, you can
or
imagine
the
Los
heat?
Angeles, all of this were Mexican words. And it was really all desert. All towards New Mexico. This was land that was uninhabited. Nobody was there. Here comes the gringo. They drive the Mexicans out, direct the water to come watering only a certain strip of land, which was really all desert before.
Wow.
What happens is we as human beings cannot mess with the ecosystem. Nature just then comes back at us huge.
Yeah.
Nobody was supposed to live there. It was basically settled by the conquistadors. They come in, take over and start building what they call the monasteries. Really kooky people. They go out there, build all these monasteries.
Can we talk about her storytelling?
Really kooky people.
Real kooky. Real cool. We're going to need you for part 2, Sade. All these gyms.
Right.
Part 2, baby.
They go out there, they set up all these monasteries.
I know.
This and that. Nobody inhabited that land. There was a delicate ecosystem of redwoods, which are the oldest living organisms on Earth.
Yeah.
Living. Here comes the Europeans. Forget what nature says. We are going to build here.
Wow.
And what happens is that you start doing what you call, and I'm not my daughter actually is an environmentalist. She got her master's in that. But from what I've read is that you start interfering with burning, because American Indians would burn the land so that the seeds would germinate naturally. You stop that. You stop burning brush. You leave it to dry. All you need is some knucklehead to throw a light out. All that land is now dry. It catches fire quickly.
Yeah.
And to double it, you'll have multi-million-dollar houses on the chaparrals. These are land that was just tumbleweeds before.
You just
Nobody
told me
built on
something.
that.
Right?
I'm just like,
So here
But
we
then
are.
it makes sense,
information, right?
So, like, what we call natural disasters is really disasters that are being created.
Human-made.
Right.
Man-made.
So nobody even supposed to be living
No,
there.
it wasn't. There was a reason why things are the way it is naturally. And when there was lightning and thunder, there was a fire. birds knew how to get out the way.
Yeah.
Animals, you see animals running towards you, you know there's a fire.
Yeah.
But this was periodical and it was natural. We human beings are building where we shouldn't be. And we also in the East Coast, New York is going to be on, let the poles melt.
I know.
We'll be underwater.
They said we're
Jesus. And we pray.
This island is way too occupied.
No, listen.
All right, so we need you on a part 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Let's get into the tea and treats.
Tea and treats segment, baby. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so in this segment with our tea and treats, today I brought some Herbalife tea where it has clean energy. We have some probiotic in there. We have some beauty booster in there with some lime and lemon and clean energy. So you guys know, if you don't know, that I am a distributor for Herbalife. That is one of my businesses where I sell protein drinks and energy teas and, vitamins, anything you need. If you getting up, you fatigued, you don't got no energy, call your
Boost that
girl,
energy.
okay? Call
Boost
your
it,
girl. Herbalife will change your life. And so I'm also a wellness coach. Where I train a few people and we do 21-day challenges just to get your health right, just to live your best life, right? When we start young, and I always say this to my younger generation, when we start at a young age, our older bodies will thank us later, I also have a business where I cater. I am the director and operator of Queen of Banana and Desserts, where I do desserts. I have vegan, low fat, whatever your preference
best,
is.
might I add, the best.
Thank you, baby. And so it's a balance. I do events, I do birthdays, weddings, whatever, occasion. But everybody asks me, like, why do you have desserts and you're a wellness coach? It's a balance. It's a balance, guys.
talked about
you
that.
could treat yourself, but after you treat yourself, you better get up and go to the gym in the morning, okay?
Exactly.
And work out, just get energy and just feel good about yourself. And that's my mission. I want us to live our healthiest lives, get up and move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the quote always. Get up. Did you get up? Did you move today? Did you walk? Did you eat your fruits? Are you eating vegetables? Like, let's take care of our temples so that
Definitely.
our bodies will take care of us when we get older,
You have what we call muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory.
So you want to try some?
I would love to.
Okay.
Can I?
I'll bring a little mini one just in case you didn't want that big one. But if you want to get enjoy. You got it? Then I got one. You guys want a banana pudding? Anybody back there eat banana pudding?
Sample.
Okay, come take one.
Yes, not too sweet.
Yeah.
So good.
Get the dessert now. Get the picture. Get the picture.
Real women not a star.
Real woman not a serve. Shut up.
That's how I kept my man.
Because I'm not a serve.
Gotta be of service.
You play too much.
This is good. And
This is delicious. Thank
You
you,
like
so
it,
much.
Sade?
tea.
You
This is the first time I'm trying the tea.
Tea and treats.
Delicious.
Tea and treats, baby. So while we indulge,
Yes.
let's get into the tea
Let's get into the tea.
before we wrap it up.
Okay.
So
Let's go into
usually
this DEI. Come on.
Yeah, tea and treats. We like to indulge in some of the treats, but then also just speak about some topics
That's going on.
that's going on. Let's talk about this DEI. I think DEI, you'll be able to give us insight.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what DEI stands for, it stands for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Many companies are rolling back on their DEI initiatives, including Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Facebook.
Amazon.
Yes. Ford company. So in recent times, several prominent companies have scaled back their diversity, equity, and inclusion due to evolving, quote unquote, legal, political, and social pressures. And some notable examples include, again, as mentioned, Target, Walmart, McDonald's, Meta, Harley Davidson, Lowe's, Ford Motor Company, and the list goes on. So for me, I know my father, he inquired, he wasn't too familiar with what that even meant. And I guess to say it plain, obviously diversity would be making sure that people of different ages, cultures, ethnicities have an equal opportunity. Inclusion would be including them, diversity, and then the equity would be making sure that, you know, we're all equal and we feel equal in these different spaces, in these workspaces and corporate spaces. Obviously, these initiatives wouldn't have had to be implemented if we had equality in America, and if we had the opportunity as our white counterparts, but we haven't, which is why we had to fight and we died, and we have people who were martyred for us to have the freedoms that we experience today. So I want to turn it over to you, especially since you have so much experience in business, being a business owner. How do you feel about the term DEI? Has it affected you? Does it not affect you? And how do you feel about all of these different companies rolling back and so many Black brands included, you know, in these partnerships that now have to beg over social media for us not to boycott so that their businesses can continue to flourish?
Right, exactly.
And can we just tell the people too that why did this come about in the first place with Trump? Let me just read a little quote from when President Donald Trump returned to the White House. One of his first actions of the nation's leader included beginning to dismantle and disrupt diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI efforts at the federal level. The same day he took office, January 20th, Trump signed an order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs. So I want the people to know, why it came about. Okay.
Yep.
My feeling is that as a Black woman, who's always been, I think, at the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Business has its own needs. It swings like the pendulum. If it sees it's better for it to say, we want to include you, they'll do it. Only because it's a capitalist system. They want to make money. So they will say whatever it is that is in vogue. So now, if we're looking at a totalitarian government or someone who is a dictator, who wants absolute power, that's where the danger is when you give someone, and it's not democratic, you give them power and they don't want to return it, or they say it was stolen.
Sounds familiar?
That is when we have to understand what the algorithms are feeding us.
Yeah.
Because what they do is take the working class, Black and white, and pit them against each other. And then say, let's, Amazon, break the backs of unions. Why there's this, we're arguing among each other, the 1%ers. Because I have to say, when my father and mother were young couple, they were able to retire, have a house, buy a house.
Yeah.
We don't discuss what is going on. We're talking about this. This actually is important, but it's really, it's a distraction. What I mean to say is that...
That's the big...
that's the church. No, but that's a fact, though.
It's a distraction, and it's a distraction to get us to have a conversation on something that would not really affect us. What would affect us is to raise the minimum wage. Is to say that if you have a college tuition loan, we will help you pay it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're a young man and you have no wife, what is the problem why men and women are not getting? This is the problem in America, where there's loneliness, there's isolation because we're all on the social media. That's where I think the problem is. The AI generates what the businessman wants. And what they want is disruption.
That's what I said
earlier. And where there is much noise and much viewer attention is where the AI pumps that out. Where the truth is expensive. Truth is hard to get to. It takes discussion. If you're a scientist, you've got to go through peer reviews. You can't say, M equals MC squared. You got to show the hypothesis and support it. That is what really is the truth, because it's costly and nobody wants to hear the truth either. It's hard to hear. So what happens is we have a demagogue or an oligarch who's telling us, this is only a distraction to get the white nationalists. What what? It's because his grandfather used to be in the mines digging up coal. The jobs are gone to China now. He finds that he's not getting married and he is in the minority. He's angry. Oh, it has to be the people coming across the border. Pure distraction. The problem is that your lifestyle is not getting better. Your father's generation did better than you are.
Right.
You're not saving money. Your bank account is empty, and we're all like crabs in a barrel. So all of these words they can keep till the social system really changes. And how will it change is by us having this conversations and understand we have to separate the distractions and the. Look, we cannot get freedom from anybody giving it to us. You know, Black Power, all of people wanted to take it and make it their own, but we're not. We're so busy on social media talking about issues that I feel is useless. Trump will change on a dime if he has to. He's opportunistic. He would change and speak another language if he had to retain power. And let's see if the democratic system will get rid of him this next time. Because people like that who love power don't want to leave it.
They don't. You see? He fought and
what
fought
we're
and
going
fought
to see, let's
get
see
back
in
in.
4 years.
Yeah, there's already conversations of him trying to, create this third term.
Whereas Putin is still in office. People didn't think that would be possible, but it's possible because information that's flowing is wrong. And I would like for people to tell us that why Google...
I think white Americans are infatuated by him.
All of them, it's not even white or black, as I told you.
Yeah.
Twitter,
the polls,
all of these companies, Google, all of them should tell us.
The polls proved that it was the Hispanics and the white Americans who voted for Trump.
Wow.
Majority.
It doesn't matter. They're all a little bit.
Black
I believe we're all
tall.
a little bit confused because if the conversation is, and Trump said it, Putin, we want you to find the missing emails. What he is saying is this: is that I think Google, Twitter, all these big companies, Facebook should tell us when we're talking to a human being or a bot. What's going to happen is AI is going to become so intelligent that we're not going to be talking to a human being. We're actually engaging with a bot, and that bot will be fake. And I want to know that I'm talking to a person. And what we're doing now, we're having politics and our conversation being dictated to us by a robot, an AI. And that's where I think we're not seeing that the problem is coming towards us. And that these are all just distractions for us. They're going to make sure that their Twitter stays on top. What has Elon Musk ever done? The bull from South Africa comes here and want to tell me anything? He is a racist, pure and simple. What has he ever done with a golden spoon in all their mouths? And they're going to tell us they care about it. They don't care. They want to maintain the 1%. And what happens is the conversation is now shifting. And the bots are the ones who are telling us what the conversation is. And I refuse to address it. I will consistently see where they're pitting us against each other. White, Hispanics, all of them are voting for Trump. They're thinking that the massa is going to give them something. No, they only want power and an absolute rule.
Let me ask you this. So through all of these distractions,
so annoying.
Through all of this distractions that's going on, what do you say to people that's saying, listen, stop shopping in Target, stop shopping on Amazon, stop buying? Would it affect these Black-owned businesses, these
Instantly,
small?
they're going to start loving you again. They're going to start telling you inclusion. And the moment we talk with our money, because again, we live in a capitalist system, in God we trust is that money. That's the God they're trusting. And look, money itself is a piece of paper. It's only if you and I agree that this piece of paper has value, that we say the money has value. It's a piece of paper. But we all get together and agree that this money is power. But the moment we say we're going to talk with this money that you've called power and we're walking away, then they're going to start including us. If there wasn't reparations for the poor, millions of Jews that were killed in Germany, you go to Germany now, everywhere you go, little bricks on the floor. They talk about it. They teach it in school. You can't teach slavery in American schools. They want to tell us something else.
And I want to lean on that point you made, because that's my point when it comes to the DEI conversation, is that people don't understand historically we had to boycott. We had to stop riding the bus, right? For a year for them to finally say, oh, okay, well, we won't hit you upside your head.
So your money talks.
Just
Your
right.
money talks.
Right. So, but what Ebony is speaking to is a lot of these new Black brand owners are asking us to do opposite.
Yeah.
And to continue to support these corporations so that they don't lose money because they have their products on the
in there.
shelf.
I'm
So
not surprised.
I think that's why this conversation is important because people don't understand that DEI exists because of the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and the Black Power. The people who put in the infrastructure for us to get paid equally.
Yeah.
And like at one point, sanitation workers, weren't getting paid the same as Black sanitation workers than white sanitation workers. There's just so much in regards to equity that we continue to fight for, but we made mild, small milestones, but milestones nonetheless. And it's like we are in a society now that we have Trump that even Kamala used to say we're not going back, and we are going back based on these policies that he is
So are you going to
implementing.
stop buying a toilet paper from Amazon? Let me tell you something. It's
No,
going
I don't
to
think
be,
we don't. We're not going.
It's not
we
going
don't
to
have
be
that much
possible.
discipline. We don't
No.
care as much. We're not as
But
unified.
it used to be that there
We
was
don't.
the bodega in the corner.
That supplied
you
it.
got out.
Yeah.
You went to buy from your
Right.
corner store.
That's
but
true.
slowly but surely, businesses like mine, and because I refuse
Brick
to
and
sell
mortar.
out,
Yeah.
I could probably be a zillionaire, but they put certain contracts in front of me, and I'm a thinking African woman thinking that means I will sell out the villagers who are making
that's
my
what we
products.
just
That's
talking
what
about.
I told Ebony.
That's what
why
me
I
and
said
Destiny was talking
we
about
need
earlier.
to present it. I said because to be honest, I don't even think Sade has her products in any of these
No.
companies. So I
They
wanted your
told me to put the
insight.
product in Whole Foods. What happens is a new form of slavery. So I would work, get the products from my village, bring it over here, put it in Whole Foods.
Give
And what
them percent.
happens, because I've done it before, I've been around for 28 years in business. I went to Whole Foods. The contract they present to me is that I will get a pennies on
On
the
a
dollar.
dime.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They told me it's because I will have, which is true, people will be able to see my brand more. Took them 6 months to give me a check of $64.
What?
No,
No,
it's true.
thank you.
But it's true. Even with selling my books on Amazon, I hardly see any of
Why
the
can't we have our
sales
own
because
collective?
they
That's
take
so
40, you take
true,
60, which
Sade.
is why I always refer back to my website.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
It's cute to have it on Amazon and all these retailers, but in order for me to see the money, go to
But there's a
my
backlash
website.
to doing that because I see the backlash to me
to doing what?
to telling them that I would not sign that contract.
Oh, okay.
And I saw instantly where they got another company who sold exactly what I sold and put it and copied my label. So I went and got it registered and
child.
trademarked.
Yeah.
So there are where
Tips, more gems. Get
Right.
yourself. Get your stuff
I hope y'all got
trademarked.
your pads and your pens out.
Unfortunately,
Shutting this down.
Listen, we
Talking
need
to the
do a part
viewers.
2, 3, 4. Time is running out.
so much.
It's so
this has been so
good.
beautiful. What
This
an
it's been
experience.
so
And this
insightful.
is much more like such blessings to be here with both of you.
No, it's
I-
an
I
honor to
adore
have you
Full
for real.
circle, full
Yeah.
circle. And for the audience, yes, Ebony introduced me to Sade, her products over 10 years ago.
know.
Yeah,
And
I
in
used to
your
go to
face.
Sade.
She can't
for
get rid of me now,
years,
y'all.
Years. I went to go. I remember real fast. I was doing my eyebrows, maybe with a pencil. I don't know. But she introduced me. No, baby, you don't do powder. And she had the little tip, the little thing, and then she used to do the powder. First of all, remember we used to get how we arch thought they used to do the threading
The
or
threading,
no, baby, we don't
right.
do that. She used to have the ring, and she shook right,
Yes.
Sade? And she used to hook me up, and she showed me how to do the powder, and it looked so like just
And natural.
smooth and
Yeah.
natural. She brought that to me, and I remember
There's
Destiny
one
was like,
thing
"Who
I
do
would
your
like
makeup?"
to say
I say,
before we
"Sade."
close
Yes.
is there's
Yes.
nothing but there's no perfection but God, right? That's only perfect. We're only trying to get to closeness to perfection. The perfection that we have to share with each other is love. God is love. That's all I know.
That's it.
And that you take me as I am. I am a work in progress. I'm not touting anything. Because I don't know, I seek knowledge. The moment I stop learning, I'm in my grave.
I just put that up on my page.
So I want us to know that we should forgive each other. We should
Yeah.
be more loving and kind to each other and not judge just by the accoutrement and the whole. That person inside might be suffering and you just don't know.
Yeah.
Show more love.
Yeah.
Grace.
And know that we're infallible. We make mistakes. Forgive and move on and grow also from your own mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, how would you learn to alter? So this has really humbled me. It made me proud.
Yeah.
It makes me proud of both of you
Thank
and the young men who are off camera that we can't see. It's wonderful, and I would love for us to have 1,000 of us talking.
Yeah.
like this.
Yes, we just need a few more
We gonna
mics,
talk-
a few more
we
cameras,
gonna talk that in
and we're gonna
existence.
get
Yeah.
into the
Like have a whole
I
panel,
shall.
And
right?
these conversations are not
shall.
always easy, right?
Yeah.
Like
No,
they're
it's
not
hard.
always easy.
That's a fact.
Sometimes they're uncomfortable, but
they're
we learn
very-
so much
That's life.
from each other. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
Play, pause, and stop. You want to ask her, what does she want to press play on?
So in the closing of our podcast, we always like to ask our guests really fast, one word. What are you going to press play on for the rest of this 2025? What you press and play on?
Forgiveness.
That's a good one. That's good.
And what are you pressing pause on?
This notion of anti-aging, silly. The moment your mother pushes you out of that birth canal is when your time starts ticking down.
Ooh, I love that.
Live it every day.
Live.
And embrace it.
Embrace it. Live it. I
Yes.
saw some gringo
I
on
love that.
Netflix talking about don't die. What a moron. Of course you're going to die.
What a moron.
That's the only thing that's guaranteed.
Right.
The moment
That's
you
a
take your
fact.
Life
first
is
breath.
death. Right.
And again,
Yeah.
another distraction. Buy the snake oils that I'm selling. Don't die. Of course I want to
Buy
die.
the
But I
snake
want to
oils.
live the good life.
Yeah.
And then when I die, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And what are you putting a stop on? What you stopping for 2025?
The voice in the head.
That's a good one.
I think that went over their head though, but it's okay.
No, the voice in the
The
head.
voice in the head is
Ooh,
not
that's
you.
good.
That was our quote though from the last podcast. Like, don't, right?
That was our quote. Don't let your mind
trick you out
trick
your
you out your
spot.
spot.
That's
So
right.
that's the voice in your
It's the
head.
voice in the head.
'Cause
And
they be
the
right
voice-
here.
The voice in the head, I was telling a friend of mine, is the ego. And the ego is poisonous. The ego wants to trick you. It's not you, it's the ego.
It's the ego.
Where you are is the peace and quiet of God. Ooh. You know that scripture that says, keep your lamps lit because you don't know when the master comes? That light is the light of God. You could be, your master comes and passes your ass by because that voice in your head, you don't stop
That's
it.
right. Come on, church.
I'm like, I
that
need
is
my
so
lamps lit.
true,
I want
though.
to stay awake, alert. So when the master comes with some message for you or some
Right.
handsome brother, ooh,
That you
lamps
be-
are lit.
Right.
You're aware.
That should be open to hear.
So-
You'll be open to hear his
Wow.
It's in
God's
the quiet,
voice.
yeah,
Sade.
peace.
That is so good.
God's voice. Yes. We're going to end it with the
Child.
quote.
The quote of the week.
The
Go ahead, baby.
week, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Let your next move be your best move.
And that's what?
A
That's a wrap.
Thank you so much.
My dreams is vivid, work hard to live it. Any place I visit, I got land there. My dreams is vivid.